Hey guys, good morning and thanks for joining. So in the last class, we discussed about Azure Sentinel architecture diagram. So we did not complete it. So overall project lifecycle management, what is the licensing option and what is the design and also what is the implementation we can do and also finally operational support of L1, L2, L3 and also couple of other definitions as well. Let's go and discuss whatever we discussed about IBM QRadar, Splunk, HP ArcSight, McAfee, logarithm, and the generic architecture diagram. So first thing is sales. So when I say sales here, licensing option for Azure Sentinel side. So it is based on the GB per day. That's all. So there is no need of number of end users. Only number of end users are required for logarithm and also for the Exabeam side. All other vendors, there is no need to calculate any GB per day. How much storage is required? So what is the EPS count and everything is required and the number of end users are not required. But if you are going with Exabeam and if you are going with the logarithm, we have to consider not only just on the GB per day, how much it is generating based on the EPS count. And also even we have to consider how many number of end users are available in the market. So coming back on the, so Azure Sentinel side also. So whatever other SIM tool vendors are using the concept, so same concept they developed. So this is the way how the software is developed related to Azure Sentinel. And finally, so based on the GB per day only, they are calculating. So how much cost is involved. So next one is implementation side or before going to implementation, deployment. So deployment, we have standalone deployment. And we have distributed deployment. So these are the two different types of deployments we do have. So standalone mainly for the single location where the on-premise and also cloud applications are using in the either cloud service platform, irrespective of the maybe we are using only not only just Azure Sentinel, even we are using about other cloud service platforms as well. For example, if you want to integrate Amazon Web Services logs to Azure Sentinel side, so what Azure Sentinel it has done, they created one of the data connector. So that data connector can be used to integrate. So Azure Sentinel to respect to Amazon Web Services logs. I'm repeating once again. So whatever, for example, one of the organization maybe it contains AWS and also Azure environment and on-premise environment. Total three different types of sorry. Total three different types of environments. So Azure environment and also AWS environment and also on-premise or data center environment. In that scenario, if you want to monitor everything via Azure Sentinel side, what we have to do? So we have to integrate on-premise logs to Azure Sentinel and also even we have to integrate AWS logs to also to Azure Sentinel. So if you want to integrate these on-premise logs to Sentinel and also AWS logs to Sentinel, for that one already I said, so Azure they have their own concept is called customized data connectors and also syslog server method and also API token method and also cloud connector method. So these are all the different types of log integration methods that we'll use to integrate either on-premise logs to SIM tool of the Azure Sentinel and also even it will support for the so other cloud service provider logs to SIM tool as well. So it is compatibility is there from the irrespective of the whether we are using on-premise or whether we are using even other cloud service providers applications or environments as well. So this is the way how the Azure Sentinel compatibility has a larger scope. Okay, so standalone is mainly for the single location and distributed deployment is for the multiple locations. Next one is on the implementation perspective. So they don't have any hardware based because it's a cloud environment. So everything it's a cloud environment only using SaaS based applications. nothing but pay as you go. So that is the way how this particular Azure Sentinel it is working on. It doesn't have any hardware based, and also it doesn't have any software based also, nothing but, so it does not provide any hardware based module to deploy in the cloud, I mean, environment of any customer location or any on-premise location. And also it does not support any software based also, similar to like a Splunk or other vendors, how it is supporting. So we cannot purchase Azure Sentinel as a software, and also we cannot deploy on top of the either Windows server or Unix server. So that compatibility is not there. So completely we have to use Azure subscription. So that subscription is belongs to Azure Sentinel. We have to purchase it. So what is the beauty here? So beauty here is elasticity is very important, and high availability, and horizontal and vertical growth. So that is the beauty of the any cloud service provider sim tools, how it will work. So there is no need of any hardware replacement, and also compulsory these many years we have to use these hardwares or softwares, and we have to increase and we have to decrease the scope. It's not like that. So completely it is working on the elasticity. So based on our EPS count, so whatever Sentinel we are using, so we can reduce the our capacity, and also we can reduce the capacity as well. Okay, so even high availability also it's very easy as compared to on-premise environments. So second, so that is on the implementation side. As I said, it will not support any hardware based, and also it will not support any software based to purchase and deploy on top of the Windows servers and Linux servers. So next one on the implementation perspective, what exactly we have to do on the Azure Sentinel side. So that one I'll explain in-depth analysis once we are moving into the further steps. So before going to that one, so backend databases or query language. What is the backend database query language it is using? It is called as a KQL. So it has their own customized query language based on the SQL. So that is called Kusto query language. Already I uploaded couple of queries, more than 300 queries in our Azure Sentinel folder. So these queries, it's an interview question as well. So do you know how to write queries? That is one of the interview question. So I will go back and I will explain these queries as well. So go to Sim tool and go to Azure Sentinel. So just half an hour back, I was uploading this particular document. So there are different types of scenarios they given. So for different types of category of the attacks, so that is belongs to authentication failure category or malware category or DLP or phishing email or so malware category or spoofing or flooding or WASP top 10 or miscellaneous or network related categories and so on. So all these are different types of category of the queries, how we can utilize. It's a compulsory entry question once you are going for Azure Sentinel side. So what is the question, how they will expect from us? Do you know how to write KQL query or not? So did you create anytime KQL query, or did you use anytime KQL query or not? So for that one, it has 300 KQL queries. What are you like? Just you can prepare at least 2 to 3 queries, and at the time of the interview, you can explain about those 2 to 3 queries. What is the logic behind, and what is the importance of the query is about? It's a compulsory interview question if you are going for any Azure Sentinel. So as I said previously also, similar to like what is data connector, playbook, notebook, and also workspace and analytics and Jupyter networks and GitHub community, and also what is the query language we are using, same as it is. So even it's one of the favorite interview question. Do you know how to write a query using Azure Sentinel part of KQL? So there are 300 queries. So just you can, it's very simple only. So for example, if you are going with failed login attempts, so that means you should be aware of all these event ID numbers. I will upload one more document. So related to Windows event IDs. So event IDs is not applicable to Unix environment. It is applicable to only our Windows environment. So there are more than 80 to 100 event IDs. So you have to remember at least 10 event IDs, especially login failure, login success, account lockout, account created, account deleted, account modified, golden ticket, silver ticket, and also data object modified. So around approximate 10 queries you have to remember. These are regularly interview expected questions. Most of the cases we can expect only login failure, that is already 4625. So but other than that one, we have more than 80 plus event ID numbers. So that event ID is in case interview point of view, if they are not maybe they are going outside whatever we discussed, you can say I'm not able to recollect right now, but I worked on. This is the way how you can give the convincing answer. Okay. So for example, whatever we know, couple of event IDs. So failed login attempts. So for this one, how to write Kusto query language in the Azure Sentinel side, security event, and also where event ID equals to 4625. So this is the event ID belongs to the failed login attempts. This one already we know because regularly we are discussing about this event ID. And also successful login attempts. So this is event ID 4624. So this also we are discussing about regularly. So next one is brute force attack. So that is also nothing but login failure attempts is called as a brute force attack. So using trial and error method. So that is the way how the attacker will trying to do that. So here a brute force attack side, we are discussing about even threshold also based on the password policy and also account lockout policy. That is the reason even we have to give the where count. So where event ID 4625 and also summarize count by trigger username. Even we can specify not only just on the username, even we can specify based on the IP address also. That is belongs to either private IP address range or public IP address range. So brute force attack, this particular use case or query we can write in two ways. One is based on the username and also based on the IP address also. So that is belongs to the private IP address range and public IP address range. Okay. So in this scenario, so whatever query they provided on the Azure Sentinel side, it is based on the username. As I said, even we can create this particular query based on the IP address also. That is belongs to IP address. So either 10 series or 172.16 or 192.168. Other than that one, everything is a public IP address range. And where count, so count it will provide about so what is the maximum threshold limit as a account lockout policy we are providing in our environment. So whatever GRC team, so they created password policy in our organization environment. So according to that one, we can create our count as also. So for example, we can provide either 3 attempts or 5 attempts. It depends on organization to organization. We can go with the 3 or we can go with the 5 attempts also. But in generic, most of the companies, they will follow 5 as a maximum account lockout policy. And also account lockout. So this is also one of the interview question. What is the account lockout event ID number? It's a 4740. So whenever someone is trying as a brute force attack, it's more than 5 attempts in our organization already we created as a account lockout policy belongs to threshold attempt. So in case either internal employee or maybe external attacker, they are trying to do more than 5 attempts, automatically account should be locked out. So for that one, you have to create a query and we have to do the investigation. So using the security event and where event ID equals to 4740. So this is the way how all these, for example, this user account changes. So nothing but user account modified. So this is this question they will expect in another way also. User account is modified. So what is the category of the attack? So in that scenario, we have to expect this one is a golden ticket attack. So attacker will try to compromise Active Directory and already whatever Active Directory credentials he compromised. So then additionally, he will delete, and he will update, or he will modify, and also he will lock out whatever existing accounts are there. So this also we can expect on the regular interview question as a user account changes. This one maybe you can expect in the different way also, as I said. So user account modified or updated, and also object modified or updated. So indirectly they're expecting about whether you are aware of the golden ticket attack and silver ticket or not. So if you know about those things, and if you know about, then you can give the answer as a either 4738 or 4720. So as I said, you can remember at least three or four queries at the time of the interview. You can give those three along with the what is the name of the query, and also when you are utilizing this particular scenario based. So as I said, so one query you can take it from the authentication failure category side, one query you can take it from the spoofing, one query you can take it from flooding, and one query you can take it from the our phishing email, and one query you can take it from the malware category. Don't go with always okay, so whatever other people will say in the regular at the time of in generic, like always authentication failure category. So as I said, whatever category of the attacks we discussed about 70, so or 65 plus. So take one of the attack is belongs to our authentication related, take one is malware, and take one is spoofing, and take one is flooding, and take one is WASP top 10. In such a way, you can choose whatever you like, and so give that query. So as I said, don't go with always all the five queries belongs to only one category of the attack, because here it is provided more than 300 queries. So you can choose any of the each and every category of the attack, and you can prepare for that one, and you can explain. So for example, maybe so on the part of the authentication failure category, just now we discussed so security event where event id equals to 4625. In the similar, we can go with the other event IDs belongs to malware and phishing email and spoofing and flooding, network category, unusual behavior, and also even other category of the attacks as well. So that is my advice. Why I'm saying all this? So always people will give the first four or three only at the time of the interview. So instead of that one, you can, as I mentioned, you can go with other, and also you can be unique. So that is about overall query side, how we can write a query, and so whether you are aware of the queries knowledge or not. So as I said, these queries, why we will use and when we will use for the threat hunting side is one scenario. So based on the, so whatever KQL queries we are using. And second one is we can use these queries mainly for the deeper investigation. If you want to do the drill down in case alert does not contain any in-depth analysis of the so scenario, whatever alert is triggered. So for these two scenarios, we can use these queries. I'm repeating once again. So sorry guys, when we can use these queries, so mainly for the drill down of the true positive security instant investigation, and second scenario is for the threat hunting if you want to do proactive way. So these queries we can use. It's not only applicable to our Azure Sentinel. Azure side, they have their own EDR and XDR product name is called as Microsoft Defender as well. Even Microsoft Defender EDR tool also, it will use same KQL queries. So that is about overall query side on the Azure Sentinel side. It's a compulsory interview question. Okay, as I said, you can choose whatever you like. So next one is log format. So log format is common to all SIM tools except IBM QRadar name or acronym. So on the IBM QRadar side, we can call it as a leaf, but remaining all other vendors, we can call it as a common event format, CEF. So whatever raw logs are generated, Azure Sentinel, what it will do, it will convert that raw log into Azure Sentinel understandable format, not only just Azure Sentinel side, even user side also, whether user is able to read and understand what's going on the environment side. Whenever any security is triggered based on the normalization, based on the aggregation, and based on the parsing. So according to that one, it will convert so raw log into understandable format of the SIM tool, and also understandable format to even user investigation whoever is doing as well. So that is about log format. Log integration methods. So log integration methods, mainly it will use first and foremost 80% of the cases, it's a data connector. So data connector, it can be used mainly for not only just on the inbuilt Microsoft related logs integration. Example, maybe you can consider Microsoft Windows event logs, or Microsoft Defender EDR logs and XDR logs, and Microsoft Office 365 logs, Microsoft inventory tools logs, Microsoft. So whatever products they are purchasing, so sorry, whatever products and solutions it is developing, it can be used for that one. Along with that one, even it can be used to integrate third-party logs also, other than Microsoft developing products and solution. So that's what we discussed about data connectors. So data connectors, we can use either default data connectors, whatever Microsoft is supporting. Otherwise, in case our log format is unknown, similar to like whatever we discussed under the HP ArcSight Flex connector and smart connectors and Splunk, universal forwarder, lightweight forwarder, heavyweight forwarder, same as it is. Even Sentinel or Microsoft, what it is doing, it is providing the, so if the log format is unknown, so then we can use the so customized data connector, and we can inform that raw logs to the respective Microsoft company, and they will provide similar to like flex connector or flexible connector. So that can be developed to integrate unknown log formats to logs to SIM tool as well. So that is one of the log integration method. So second one is called as syslog server method. Obviously, it can support. And third one, it will support API token method. And finally, it will support cloud connector method also. So these are all this couple of log integration methods, whatever Azure Sentinel it is using. So this is also one of the interview question, mainly for the L3 level, whoever is keeping experience is 7 plus or 8 plus. Not only just 7 plus or 8 plus, even L2 level also they are expecting. In the Azure Sentinel, do you know how to fine tune? Do you know how to onboard the log source logs to SIM tool? Or do you know how to integrate data sources or log source logs to SIM tool? For that scenario, better you can say, first and foremost, very high priority is the data connector we can use to integrate logs to SIM tool. This is the way how the Sentinel is supporting for the inbuilt Microsoft related solutions products, but not only that one, but also even it is supporting for the third party vendors logs integration. And second method is syslog server method, and third method is API token method, and fourth method is cloud connector method. For example, if I want to explain one of the log integration method, take example of the Microsoft EDR Defender tool. So it can be used to integrate API token method, and we can generate the API token URL link and username and password, and we can specify that the API token URL, username and password to Azure Sentinel under the so log integration method. So then automatically Defender logs, it will go to Azure Sentinel side. So in case logs are not reflecting in the Azure workspace or Azure log analytics space, in that scenario, I can go and I can do the troubleshooting part. So I will do the packet capture in between the Microsoft Defender EDR tool and also Azure Sentinel side, and I can verify it, and also I can use traceroute, and also I can use Wireshark. So I can identify where is the issue is about, whether it is issues there in the application side or configuration side, and also transport layer side, and also whether it is a network layer side, whether packet is dropping, and also network interface side. So this is the way how I can verify in case logs are not reflecting Microsoft Defender EDR logs to SIM tool. So that is the way. Take one of the practical case because already all these use case already we discussed under the log integration methods. So same use case I'm explaining under the Sentinel side. So take whatever 8 log integration methods do we have at the time of the log integration methods, what are we discussed. So in case someone will ask at the time of the interview, do you know how to integrate log source logs to SIM tool part of the Azure Sentinel? So you can use most of the cases collector agent. Why? Because data connector first and foremost is a first priority. So later we can go to syslog, later we can go to API token method, and finally cloud connector method. So example, take Microsoft Windows Server logs integration part of 2012. It is deployed on the Microsoft, one of the workspace or maybe Microsoft virtual machine. So in that scenario, I can use whatever Microsoft data connector. It is a piece of the software file. I can deploy it on top of the virtual machine or on top of the physical hardware device. And I can specify the source IP as a virtual machine IP address or server IP address, and destination IP as a Azure Sentinel and port number 9093 or 443 or 8443. In case virtual machine and Microsoft Windows hardware based server logs are not reflecting in the SIM tool, so then I can do the TCP dump analysis by taking the log packet capture, and I can use Wireshark and I can fix the problem. So before going to that one, I can go and I can verify. So configuration and also implementation related and troubleshooting, and also trace route, and finally log analysis. And finally, even in case logs are not reflecting, I can go and I can raise a case with this Microsoft vendor side and I can fix the problem. So this is the way how you have to explain at the time of the implementation side also, whether you are aware of the how to onboard log sources logs to Azure Sentinel side or not. This is common to each and every SIM tool vendor, but here and there little bit acronyms and also little bit terminology it is different. Otherwise, all the SIM tool backend concept is same as it is. Okay, so that is about log integration methods part of the Azure Sentinel side. So next one is threat hunting. So threat hunting, as I said, for this one, we can use KQL query language. So whatever just now we have raised queries. So instead of the based on the correlation rules or based on the whatever default or customized correlation rules we are creating. So if you want to do the hunting based on the assumption or based on the hypothesis, so we can go and we can write a manual query according to the query whatever we discussed under these queries for the different types of query based. So even couple of my friends are working in, and couple of my students are working in the Microsoft direct payroll company and Microsoft company as well. So they said like they will use regularly out of all these 300 queries, 15 queries only, irrespective of so whether they are going for the implementation or they are going for the so even fine tuning and troubleshooting, and also even investigation side also. They used to use only 15 queries to take care of the any security incident investigation, either L1 or L2 or L3 level. Not only that one, even for log onboarding side also belongs to out of all these 300 queries. Okay. So those queries also I will provide. So give me some time, and also correlation rules, couple of correlation rules also I will provide. So these 300 queries more than sufficient to crack any of the interview. As I said, if you know about 3 or 4 queries perfectly, so and explaining at the time of interview and expressing at the time of the interview proper way. So threat hunting, why I'm referring this threat hunting. So threat hunting also we can use KQL queries. This one is completely based on the assumption and based on the imagination, based on the hypothesis way. So other than the logic, other than the Boolean algebra function, can we go and can we hunt the threats so manual way, and can we compare these hunts and threats what are we identified versus whatever it is coming via correlation rules. So just in case any mismatch is there, for that one we have to identify the gap and we have to write the correlation rule. So that is the reason we can use threat hunting. For that one we can use the KQL query. So in case if someone will ask at the time of the interview, in the Azure Sentinel, do you know how to do threat hunting part? Yes, I know how to do threat hunting. So using KQL queries, and you can prepare that queries, as I said, 3 to 4. I can go to the log analytics tab and I can give a query. And for example, so authentication login failure event ID. So whatever correlation rules and based on the logic and based on the Boolean algebra query it is created. So how many alerts are triggered in 1 day or 1 week or 1 month versus whatever I have done the manual way, whether it is matching or not. In case it is matching, how I can improve the security posture of the organization and how we can fulfill the gap, and also how we can do the manual identifying of the threats and why the tool is uh, mismatching of these threats. So this is the way how I can go and I can verify the threat hunting under the Microsoft Sentinel side. So otherwise you can take one more so query part of whatever you like, as I said, out of all these, and you can explain about second scenario also. So belongs to whatever out of all these queries you are using. For example, maybe so you can use failed Azure container instance operation. So whatever container is deployed on top of the our virtual machine as a so instance, so it is failing, so that operation, and also it is not coming up. For that one we have to write a query. So that query, so we can go and we can create a correlation rule for this particular 299, and also even we can go and we can verify that query using the manual based also. So for that one we can go and we can verify the, this is the query. Is your diagnostics where category container instance logs and level equals to error. So because he so their logs are not reflecting because so instance operations are failing. So that is the reason we can go and we can verify the logs. So for Azure container instance operation, this also can give the threat hunting option by providing the manual way. So instead of always whatever other people are saying, as I said, please choose the different unique or different whatever other people are not saying about the query, and you can explain about that query. So regular one, everybody will explain, but choosing the difficult one and explaining at the time of the interview always make it is a different. Okay. So let's go for the threat hunting is complete. Threat hunting, as said, using KQL queries, we can go and we can write a query. And also here, UBA, it is a combination of UBA and EBA. So based on the entity behavior analytics and based on the user behavior analytics, so so Microsoft Sentinel, they have their own machine learning and artificial intelligence capability. So according to that one, it will go and it will create about so our unknown category of the attacks, whatever it is happening all over the worldwide. And even they have their SOAR as well. So that is called as the Microsoft SOAR. So it's a combination of the identifying the incident, and also it will take care of the automated incident response as well. So that is the call SOAR. So even whatever alert is triggered, either blocking of the IP address, blocking of the domain name, blocking of the hash value, and blocking of the URL link, blocking of the MAC address, blocking of the even serial number, everything we can do under the SOAR. So better it's if you are using Microsoft Intune. What is Microsoft Intune? Microsoft Intune, it's basically to provide about asset inventory, and also even it will take care of the mobile device management, whatever we are using in our organization side, along with the IP address and along with the So our each and every IP address and also what is the system name, username, everything we can identify under the Microsoft Intune side. It's one of the very popular tool. So if we are using for the Microsoft Suite as a overall subscription and solution side. Okay, so in that scenario, whatever IP address and also whatever attacker side, whatever tactics and techniques and procedure we are using as per MITRE attack framework and also based on the cyber culture process. So once the attack is trying to do the hacking side, once the alert is triggered, so based on the log analysis, based on the so whatever event ID action, event ID, and based on the respect to log source and data source action, whether it is a false positive and true positive, identify that instance. And once you are identifying, in case it's a true positive, something if you want to block, in that scenario, there is no need to go to the manual way and there is no need to raise any query with the other stakeholders belongs to endpoint security or network security or so asset inventory team. So everything we can go and we can take care of everything under the Azure Store itself. So that is the beauty of one second part of the Azure Store side. So similar to like whatever other vendors we discussed. So next one is risk score or severity score. So risk score or severity score, it will from 0 to 10, similar to like Sentinel side. Sorry, similar to like IBM Curator side. So whatever IBM Curator magnitude we compare based on the severity, credibility, and relevance, it is applicable to same thing for our IBM Curator company as well. Sorry, Sentinel as well. So it can be provided whatever alert is triggered or alarm is triggered or security incident is triggered, it will vary from 0 to 10 scale range. So only Exabeam, IBM Curator, and also Sentinel, these three vendors, it will not go for 0 to 100 risk score or so based on the severity score. Only it will vary from 0 to 10 in case if it is a IBM Curator and also Sentinel side. And the Exabeam side, as I said, 0 to infinity risk score. So even it will come more than lakh also, 1 lakh also, 2 lakh also. So whatever greater than 90 score, it is considered part of the Exabeam side. So those instances we can consider as it's a critical and high side. So remaining all other instance less than 90. Sorry guys. So similar to like IBM Curator. So critical, you know already. So see, if tool is giving critical, that doesn't mean that compulsory it's a critical instant, unless otherwise, if the security analyst is deciding whether it is really false positive or true positive, then only we can go and we can identify whether it is a false positive and true positive side. So once the based on the human analysis only, we can consider as a compulsory it's a false positive and true positive. So tool will give the maybe wrong results also. So once you are validating and once we are doing the log analysis, so then only we can consider. But based on the severity and based on the risk score, we can prioritize the incidents. That doesn't mean that compulsory. So 8 to 10 are belongs to critical or so 6 to 8 are belongs to high. and 4 to 6 are belongs to medium. So we can do argument this one like 1 hour or 2 hours or 1 day also. So it doesn't mean that whatever tool is giving always is the correct thing. So it depends compulsory based on the human evolution and based on the human analysis and validation. Then only we can consider whether tool is giving the correct results and tool is giving the correct so false positive information, true positive information. Okay, so if you are doing the analysis, then only we can consider this particular thing as a so false positive and true positive. So otherwise, human beings are not required to take care of the all these L1, L2, and L3 level of the operations at all. Okay, so but as per the generic security best practices, whatever 0 to 10, it belongs to the our Sentinel side. If you are considering based on the data analytics, as I said, so how the risk score is generated. So the risk score is generated 0 to 10 is based on the data analytics, based on the mathematical calculations, and based on the statistical approach, and based on anomaly factor, and based on type of the attack. Along with that one, you know already, and based on normal and abnormal events. From the attacker perspective or maybe internal employee perspective, based on all these events or logs, both are same. So according to that one only we can go, and so every SIM tool vendor is generating the risk score irrespective of the so whatever risk score formula we defined. So as the anomaly factor into type of the attack, once again anomaly factor equals to so total number of abnormal events by total number of the events. That is nothing but total number of the normal events and total number of the abnormal events. According to that one only, it can go and it can create 0 to 10. And also, as I said, even this risk score, we can do the customization according to our business impact analysis based on the severity of the attack and based on the confidentiality, based on the integrity, and based on the availability, three pillars of the any security. So according to these three things also we can go and we can change so type of the attack score, and also even we can customize the score according to our business requirement and what we are going to validate and what we are going to create correlation rules or use cases. So based on the endpoint and based on the network, based on the application cloud, and also based on the assets and servers and databases applications and so on. So this is also one of the interview question. Can you do customization of the score in the our correlation rule? Yes or no? Answer is obviously yes. We can go and we can do the customization of the so risk score based on our business requirement, based on our so business impact analysis, and also based on our risk assessment to the organization side. So I can go and I can do the customization, even risk score and type of the attack score as well. So that is also one of the so way how we can express so this particular answer for the risk score or severity score. So this one I'm not repeating once again because already this one we discussed under the UBA concept under the data analytics concept side. How the calculation of the so risk score is identified. Not only that one, I think Ravikant or someone asked long back when we discussed about endpoint security. So how the score will be calculated and what is the backend process? How the tool will come to know. So next one is high. So as I said, so this score doesn't mean that compulsory whether it is a false positive or true positive, unless otherwise, if are going and doing the at least at a glance, we can go and we can see. So what is the data source action and also log source action and what is the type of the attack. So from that basis, and also is there any outbound connections are going or not. So in the logs, at least by seeing the glance, we can go and we can identify. So whether it is a really false positive or true positive. At least we need minimum 5 minutes to confirm whether it is a false positive or true positive. Not just like whatever tool is giving compulsory 8 to 10 or belongs to critical, it's a priority one, and also it's a true positive scenario. It's not like that. Okay. 6 to 8 and medium 4 to 6. So low 2 to 4 and info 0 to 2. It's similar to like whatever we discussed. Part of IBM Curator, part of vulnerability management tool under the Nessus and Qualys CVSS core side. So next one, log analytics space. So log analytics space, why we can use, as I said, we can use mainly for the log analysis and also storing of the logs. So all those cases we can use for the log analytics space. Along with that one, even if you want to do the drill down of the deeper investigation, we can use the log analytics space. Can be used for the deeper investigation. Threat hunting also I will keep. Threat hunting. And also storage and retention policy. Extra. So for these places, we can use for the log analytics. Coming back on the implementation side, if you want to implement Azure Sentinel, what we have to do? So before going to that one, I can provide the features or additional licensing option. So what are the additional licensing options we have to purchase? So we have to purchase UBA is a additional licensing option. SOAR is the additional licensing option. And deployment server is additional licensing option. It will maintain the how many data connectors are required and where we have to deploy in case distributed deployment. And also it can support the GTA global threat intelligence. It's applicable to not only Sentinel side, it is applicable to even our EDR also, EDR, Microsoft EDR and also Microsoft XDR. And also threat hunting. Premium support. So I'm not including whatever horizontal and vertical growth year on year once the either employees are increasing and logs are increasing, events are increasing, applications are increasing, data utilization is increasing. So all those things I'm not including that one anyways. So based on the initial security design or solution design, whoever is trying to do, so those people will consider year on year how much additional space is required, additional logs are going to come. So that one anyways, we can go and we can verify in the manual way whether initially whatever it is defined, it is sufficient or can we increase our GB per day and also space and licensing cost. So those things also we can go and we can do once the fine tuning from 6 weeks to 15 weeks, whatever initially I said. If you want to stabilize the any SIM tool cybersecurity SOC operation, we need at least so 6 weeks, almost 45 days to 105 days. So to take care of the overall understanding and also reducing the false positive, not immediately, at least. So some extent we can go and we can reduce it. So then additionally, even whatever initially created correlation rule, anyways, it is not supposed, it is not sufficient. So that is in dynamic in nature. So based on the whatever attacks are going and happening all over the worldwide. So these are the features and the licensing options we have to purchase. I mean, keeping storage also additional. Next one, implementation. So first thing is we have to purchase subscription. Azure Sentinel subscription we have to purchase as a tool. And after that, so what is the respective region? Whether it is US East or US West, US North, US South, in this similar way. So where is the location it is deployed where SIM tool part of the Sentinel side? So according to that location, what is the region we can call it as? So that region we have to specify. For example, in India, we can call it as Mumbai. So in this similar way, so in the USA, we can call it as US East or West, East or West or North or South. So it will vary from location to location and country to country. Sorry. So next one, we have to specify the whatever IP address we are assigning at the time of the creating of the virtual machine as a SIM tool, part of the our Azure Sentinel side. So that particular IP address we can call it as management IP or host name. So to log into respect to our Sentinel. And one suggestion if I am giving here or advise our security best practices, most of the companies nowadays what they are trying to do. So without VPN, they are giving and exposing even Sentinel side also one to our public. In case if you don't have the proper role-based access control and also multi-factor authentication and also Azure Active Directory or on-premise Active Directory to integrate using the complex password policy option using the multi-factor authentication, obviously we have more chances are there. So to compromise about Sentinel, it is exposing to the public. And once we are getting the access, can we go and can we reset the password once we are getting the privilege escalation category of the attack by getting the higher level of the access from the role-based access control from user to admin level of the access. Why I'm saying all this? As per ISO 27001, one of the complaints or one of the control it is belongs to whatever internal applications we are using, it should not expose to the public. When I say it is should not expose to the public from our personal laptop or from our personal mobile or bring your own devices concept, we should not go and we should not open our tool from these devices, even though we are opening that may be ServiceNow or EDR or Outlook or SIM tool or firewall and proxy and so on. Our risk attack vector complexity is very high from the attacker point of view. So that is the reason what ISO 27001, one of the complaints based on the network and telecommunication security complaint side, it's under I think 9 or 10. So that is the complaints under the 10th one, A10. A10 is belongs to statement applicability, belongs to network and telecommunication side. So one of the complaints is what are critical applications we are using, it should not expose to the so public. Compulsory we have to access through VPN, even though that is belongs to critical or non-critical applications. Why I'm saying this one? One of my friend, his name is called as Robert Andrew. So he's working for one of the food-based. He's a basically CTO in USA. So they are using Azure Sentinel, and he came to India. So that time I met him. So he said like we are using Azure Sentinel side. Then I asked, can you please provide your URL link of Sentinel, whatever you are using? I can provide loopholes, whatever company you are utilizing or not. So then I opened my personal laptop and I provided whatever URL link he provided to me. And I asked about his email address also. So I provided his email address and I provided by providing the, so using couple of dictionary attack and brute force attack. I hacked his account also using my personal laptop. Okay. So I'm able to log into Azure Sentinel. So I provide, this is the way how the hacker, they are trying to do hacking part. So that is the reason these ticketing tools or whatever critical or non-critical applications you are utilizing in your organization side, please don't expose to the public. Okay. Then immediately he sent an email to network team and also applications team to mainly for network administrator to convert this particular URL link where the application part of the Azure Sentinel side it is exposed to the public. So they given the access compulsory through via VPN to who is trying to access, and within 24 hours they fix this particular problem. Not only that one, even recently one of the client I was working approximate whatever tools I proposed and uploaded to you. So as a force point DLP, force point proxy, and also proof point, and next one is email gateway. All these security solutions, even through personal laptop, also we are able to access. Okay. So what is the drawback here? So either they did not do completing of the ISO 27000 certificate, or either they are not doing the gap assessment. So what is the current state of the security posture to desired state of the security posture? And also they are not taking care of the fine tuning of, so applications, what are we are utilizing? We are security people, we are utilizing tools. That doesn't mean that everything we are all right. Even security people also will do mistakes. So example, whatever tools we are utilizing, we should not expose to the public. So later we sent an email. So these things we are able to access through public. And finally they given, so access complete via VPN through Azure Active Directory. So that is the way. So whenever you will onboard into any organization, so you can go and you can verify. So these are the loopholes are available or not. So actually this particular thing is not a part of our security analyst role. So, but at least, so as a part of security architect or design or maybe security engineer, we have to go and we have to verify all these parameters. Otherwise, in the ISO 27000 external audit, once they will come, they will catch and they will identify the loophole and they will reduce the score from 5 to 4.5 or 4.2 or less than 4. So that is the maximum score for any security certification. Already we discussed under the GRC side. Okay. So why am I bringing all this topic now? So these things basically part of our more than L3, I can say, and implementation side, and also all these loopholes part of the manager or director or architect or implementation people, they can go and they can verify regularly, not only just a part of our L1, but anyways, L1 and L2 and L3, they will not think about all these loopholes, but at least we should be aware of how we can do the gap assessment and what the current state and where we can go and we can design. So that is called tool assessment. So this is called tool assessment to identify the loopholes and problems from what is the current state, from where the security posture we can improve to desired state, so that we can reduce our attack vector and complexity. So that is very, very important on the management IP and host name. It should not expose to the public. So nothing but it should access via VPN. So once we are assigning that one, obviously we have to assign that particular Sentinel subscription, whatever we purchased. So for that workspace, part of the log analytics, we can provide the subnet mask. We can provide the default gateway. All these things, once you are giving the Sentinel subscription and creating the Sentinel site and selecting, and once you are clicking on the next, all these questions it will ask and specify the uh, space or retention And after completing all the creating of the Sentinel side, so then we have to completely save. Later we can go and we can provide the couple of other integrations similar to like whatever we discussed under the generic SIM tool architecture diagram is applicable to almost all the SIM tools. Integrating of either on-premise Active Directory or Azure Active Directory is mainly for the OBA side. So whenever something gets happened, so belongs to user side and entity side. So who is the user and traceability should be easy or not. So for those reasons, we have to integrate. So to identify the user actions and activity and also entity related activity and actions. Not only just on that one, to identify even classification of the incident, whether it is belongs to its internal or maybe external attack. Next one, integrate. So DNS servers that may be primary or secondary belongs to private and public. In case in our organization side, any proxy we are using, integrate proxy server to access whatever either internal employee or external attacker, they are trying to access the Azure Sentinel URL link. It should access so that proxy can identify request is coming from the anonymous IP or our private IP or transparent IP or dynamic anonymous IP. All those things can be verified. So based on the, so these proxy capability. So that one we are going to discuss. And so these are all called types of proxy servers, basically transparent, anonymous, dynamic anonymous, and also normal proxy. That is nothing but forward and reverse proxy. So those are all the different types of proxy servers. Other than forward and reverse. So next one, integrate with our SMTP server. So whatever we are using, whether it is the Office 365 or whether it is a Google or whether it is any other third-party servers we are utilizing to integrate that one. If you want to integrate all these things, we need obviously, so you know already. So for this one, we have to speak with Windows admin team or sysadmin team, or couple of cases, network admin team in case it is small organization, and the network team, and integrating proxy team, so network team or network security team, I can say. And this one is email admin, or couple of cases even network team will take care of the even email, and also couple of times even Windows team will take care. It depends. But at the time of the interview, don't give multiple options. Choose whatever you like to interview. You can choose in my organization. So whatever I'm using is enterprise level. So every team is different. So in our scenario, we have dedicated email administration team is there. Those people are providing. So it as a whatever details I'm getting, it's a generic one. So it's for small scale industry or medium scale industry or enterprise level industry. So most of the cases you should provide the answer via through enterprise level industry. You are working as a cybersecurity analyst and providing the, so more than 10,000 EPS count belongs to cybersecurity SOC operation. It's not like always we can give the small and medium. That is the reason a couple of job descriptions also they will keep like, do you have experience on enterprise level customers handling with the international capability or not. So that is the way how they can provide enterprise level meaning here. So very big organizations and well established organization and also large scale industries called as enterprise level industries. So why I'm saying this one, to eliminate to the multiple options, you can choose only one option instead of giving three different types of options two at the time of the interview. In my organizations, so we have dedicated email administrator team is there, dedicated network administrator team is there, dedicated Active Directory team is there. So dedicated to proxy team is there. They are providing the details so that I'm integrating to our Sentinel side. This is the way how we can give the answer. It's not like whatever I'm giving same as it is. You can go and you can give the answer at the time of the interview. So you should understand about the backend concept and logic, how we can give the answer. So once you are completing all these initial security configurations and even launching of the Azure Sentinel subscription under the Sentinel side, then finally we have to start log onboarding using data connectors and other log integration methods as well. Okay. So these log onboarding methods, whatever these log onboarding we can say, log integration also we can say, and also log implementation methods. So it depends on, so whatever terminology they are using from X to Y or Z. So different candidates, they will use different terminology. So once we are integrating, then we have to create correlation rules. Before going to that one, so you can verify, so about fine tuning is happening. First of all, logs are reflecting in the Azure Sentinel or not. Then you can verify about so fixing of that problem. Then you can create the correlation rules. So first thing is aggregation and parsing and normalization. So these three things we have to verify. Later you can think about indexing, filtering, and after completing everything, finally you can go to the correlation rule creation. Verify, log onboarding issues, admin or config, normalization, parsing, aggregation, filtering, and indexing issues. So we have to verify that is part of the L3 level or implementation level, 11th step. Later, we have to think about based on business requirement, verify and validate, sufficient out of the box correlation rules are providing Sentinel, or can we create customized correlation rule based on our requirement and based on regular threat intelligence feeds. Interior question is yesterday interior question. So what are the different types of ways you are getting the, or you're keeping yourself up to date? So what is the answer you have to give? So I'm going and I'm verifying a couple of websites like Dark Reading or Naked Security or ISACA or European Council or ISC Square or Naked Security, CSO Online. So next one is even we purchased a couple of SDK, one of the commercial threat intelligence feed, Mandiant, one of the commercial threat intelligence feeds, and also even from Microsoft side, we purchased one of the threat intelligence feeds. So this is the way how I'm keeping myself up to date, what's going on across the worldwide or across the universe. So that is one of the interview question. So that means you should be aware of the open source versus commercial threat intelligence feeds and how you are getting and how you are keeping yourself up to date. So next one, once we are completing all these, so I'm not giving once again full depth analysis. So fine tuning means just only about just onboarding, not just on 11th point, even some other things also. So like verifying of the quarterly basis, whether all the correlation rules, whatever we create, it is hitting or not. We have to do auditing as well. Verify quarterly basis, correlation rules, all the rules are utilized or not. Utilized means here it is hitting that logic whatever we created and it is generating the alert or not. So then we have to take care of the SOC L1, L2, L3, operation support along with what threat hunting, SOAR, UBA, and reverse engineering. All these aspects we have to do. Okay, so this is the way, this is common to any tool basically. Whatever we discussed under EDR and vulnerability management, even under the DLP, even under the, so whatever we discussed about web application firewall implementation, same concept is applicable to SIM tool as well. So finally, we have to create high availability. Active passive. Okay, so that is about overall how to implement Azure Sentinel side on the implementation side under the Sentinel subscription. Okay, so cost, one of the benefit is based on the EPS count, either it will reduce the cost and it will increase the cost. I feel like now Sentinel also increased the cost and it is giving a lot of competition to Splunk and IBM QRadar. So that is about overall. Okay, so only one pending thing from the Sentinel side is correlation rules. I did not upload. Whatever I upload, it's a queries. It's not a correlation rules. So these are all KQL queries for the different types use cases once you are doing threat hunting and so on. So correlation rules, I can provide either 3 or 4. Already, whatever I provide IBM QRadar side are 6 or 4 or 5, and Exabeam side 5 I provided. Then I provided under logarithm side 33 or 32. In the similar way, Splunk side, I think I provided 38 or something like that. And Sentinel side, I'm going to provide. As I said, so doesn't matter whether, so you have to give only one answer they'll expect, whether you know correlation rule or not. What you're keeping in your is that one they'll expect, or what do you know whether any correlation rule how to create or not. Not like just always whatever all over the worldwide across the universe, every people they will say multiple authentication login failure attempts from the same source user, same source IP, brute force attack, dictionary. So every person will say only this answer at the time of the interview. Do you know how to create correlation? That is the reason. So wantedly these interview panel, what they are doing, instead of every person is providing these things, why can't we go and we can ask about difficult question or customized question based on the different categories of the attack? That means you should be aware of the first and foremost, all the attacks are definition and basic logic is very important. Otherwise, it's difficult to create a correlation rule. For example, maybe tomorrow Akira ransomware attack 4.0 it is coming, or maybe Lockbit 5.0 ransomware category of the attack it's coming, or maybe Microsoft remote code execution, or maybe privilege escalation category of the attack. Okay, in that scenario, so it's an unknown to us. Then how can you create the use case or correlation rule for that one? You can utilize whatever ransomware category of the attack as a basic condition logic. You can keep that one and try to understand whatever new attacks are happening. Understand about that attack pattern and attack behavior, and what is the tactics and techniques and procedure based on the MITRE attack framework attacker is used. And finally, we can provide the answer. So these correlation rules also we can go and we can create based on the, so recon to till the command and control on data exfiltration as per the MITRE attack framework. According to that one also, we can create the correlation rule. Let's study entire question. So what is that entire question? It is belongs to, so one of the malware category of the ransomware category of the attack it's happened. What is the tactics and techniques and procedure attacker maybe he can use, and he can enter into the organization side to the till the closure of the incident. So that means you should be aware of all these 14 tactics from recon to till the data exfiltration. So to the command and control side. So what is the entry point? Recon as a phishing email we can consider, or drive-by downloads. So till data exfiltration in case if you don't have sufficient DLP controls. So in between, how the ransomware attack is happen. So maybe you can use attacker can use the injection flag category of the attack using process execution. Under the LOLWINS category of the attack, it's a fileless oriented malware category of the attack. Or maybe attacker can use privilege escalation from the getting the user level to higher level of the access. Why? Because malware should be required to insert to execute the code into the system side. If you want to execute the code into the system side, obviously we need admin level of the access. Obviously, as per the tactic, whatever, as per MITRE ATT&CK framework it is using, it is called as, so obviously it's called as privilege escalation and persistence to get and to identify the weakness and vulnerability, to see continuously monitoring whether exploitation is possible and enumeration is possible. That means whatever basic things you are understanding, you can correlate these tactics to the practical scenario oriented. Then only you can give the answer. Otherwise, you will end up with the wrong answer, providing the wrong solution, wrong answers to the interview time. These things you should understand, and you can apply the logic, and you can provide these logical way, and so providing how to create a correlation rule. It's not like that. So just we can go and we can provide the Boolean algebra function, and some threshold limit, or so even count, and private IP address, public IP. It's not like that. So first you should understand about the attack pattern and behavior. Then only you can provide the proper logic. If you're not able to understand the what attacks we discussed, obviously you are not able to provide the logic. Okay. So that's all for today, guys. And so I think I will take the evening class. Maybe tomorrow I will not take the class because I'm traveling. So in the next class, what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to explain about instant investigation. So why I want to explain these scenarios. So at the time of the interview, you are giving about false positive security instance. You are not able to crack the interview. 100% I'm giving guarantee. So whatever recent or most critical or difficult instant investigation you have done, you have to always explain about true positive along with your team, along with the customer and client. You are working, and it will take more than SLA, whatever we define initially. That practical scenario based or use cases you are giving at the time of the interview, then only you can crack the interview. If you are giving false positive, anybody can do that. So what is there to go and explain about false positive? So for example, maybe one of the criminal person has done the one of the murder. So that person, whoever is taking care of Central Bureau Investigation or National Investigation Agency or Federal Bureau Investigation, so those people should be aware of the from the starting with the FIR case to till the providing the evidences, and also providing and identifying the criminal and witnessing the so respective candidates at the time of the court and closing of the answer. Everybody should be aware of. So those people are only eligible for FB and CBI, same as it is. So even though we have the boundary L1 or L2 or L3, so in between these three different types of operational support of L1 and L2, L3. So, but you are providing the answer as a only L1 level and L2 level and L3 level. Unfortunately, sorry to say, you will not crack the interview. Even though, so you are working as L1 or working as L2, you should give the answer as L3 level oriented. Maybe they'll ask back, but you are working as L1. But how do you know all this? Because I participate in this particular security incident investigation, because I know aware. Not only that one, even some of the instance something is getting compromised, as a root cause analysis, L3 team is providing in the team meeting oral explanation from starting to till the closure of the incident, and also giving the presentation to the customer client. So this is the way how the overall security incident investigation I was aware of. So that is the reason I'm able to provide all these investigation steps to you as a critical or difficult or recent incident investigation, whatever I handled in my organization side. You are providing is just about brute force false positive, VPN authentication false positive, impossible traverse attack false positive, DOS attack false positive, phishing emails false positive. So even malware, ransomware, so virus, worm, Trojan. So as I said, forget about L1 or L2 or L3. Always you have to give the answer as L3 level. Then only you can crack the interview. Okay. So those things I can provide, and I can provide the in-depth analysis in the evening class. Is it clear? Nagarjuna, is it clear or not?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What about others? Ravikant, Shivaji, others?
Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Sir, I have one doubt, sir.
Yeah, please.
Yes, sir, first of all, we have, for example, if you are integrating firewall logs to Azure Sentinel,
Mm,
it will store in this log analytic workspace, right, sir?
mm.
By
Correct.
using log integration methods like syslog method and cloud connector method. After
Correct.
that, from the log analytic workspace, we have to use same syslog method to Azure Sentinel side, sir.
So in case logs are coming under the log analytics space and you are able to see under the
Yes.
Azure Sentinel side, we are well and good. In case logs are not reflecting, then we have to go to the firewall and provide the source IP as a firewall and
Hmm.
destination IP as a Azure Sentinel. Do the
Okay.
packet capture in between that one
Okay.
and go to Wireshark tool
Okay.
and do analyze the TCP IP layer analysis.
Yeah.
Not only just firewall logs, even one of the end user logs are integrated, or domain control logs are integrated, or proxy logs are integrated. In that scenario, so packet capture option is not available to each and every asset in the organization side. Packet capture is enabled and we can use it in the firewall side, and also we can utilize in the only server side. So every tool will not support the packet capture. We can do the
Okay.
analysis of the logs, but
Okay.
packet capture we can do only through firewall. For example, maybe you can consider, so one of the Windows server logs are integrated to SIM tool of the Azure Sentinel side. So those logs are not reflecting under the log analytics space. In that scenario, what we have to do? So we can contact the Windows Server team, ask them to provide TCP dump and do the analysis of those logs. Why the logs are not reflecting? So this is one of the example. Or maybe you are using in your organization and you are working for maybe Capgemini, and you have one of the application name is called as so HR portal. So those HR portal logs are integrated to Sentinel side. But unfortunately, so those HR portal related logs are not reflecting. So whenever any brute force attack it's happening either through internal employee or maybe external attacker side. So what we have to do? So in that scenario, whatever application IP address where the web server on top of the Apache Tomcat or any other server logs, so provide source IP as that one and destination IP as a our Azure Sentinel, and so gather the application logs and do the packet capture in the firewall side. All these packet capture analysis and everything we can capture it from the firewall side or maybe the asset side, but it will not support other devices or other inventory tools. Coming back to your question, so in case everything is available in the log analytics space, so we are well and good. And
Okay.
in case are not reflecting, we have to do troubleshooting.
Okay, sir. In log, first of all, logs are stored in log analytic workspace, right, sir?
Yes, correct.
Yes, from log analytics workspace, we have to use additionally log onboarding method to Azure Sentinel, sir, or it directly
No, no, no,
reflects.
it is direct. Once you are clicking on the Sentinel side, on the left hand side, we have more than 10 to 20 options.
Yes,
So
sir.
under the 10 to 20 options, we have one of the option name is called log analytics option.
Yes,
Once
sir.
you are clicking on that log analytics option, we can see whatever logs are coming. It's not like additional
Okay.
space or storage. So everything we can see under the left hand side of the log analytics space.
Okay, sir. There is no additional onboarding, no, sir.
No, 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 no.
Okay, sir. Got your point.
Any other? Okay, then. Thank you so much and see you evening at, shall I take 5 p.m.? Shall I take class at 5 p.m.?
Okay.
Okay, then. Thank you so much and have a great day.